Hello guys, this is Dr. Lior Bar-El, and like I told you guys, I was going to tell you the truth about investing in stocks. I told you I was going to make it a series, and I plan on making that. If you have any questions, definitely leave it in the comments, or, private message me on Instagram. I could help you out a lot. This right here, this video is not going to be about what to invest in. It's to expose all of the loopholes, and all the traps, and especially coming out from the YouTube community. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly what to do so you select a perfect stock. Every stock I pick, none of them failed me. All my friends, even in college, I made rich actually from this because I didn't have money to invest. They did, and they used my picks for that. I just look at graphs and I just know it. And I'm going to teach you guys the secret right here and there, how to not get fooled by these people on YouTube, because there's an agenda here at work and you guys need to hear this. So let's get right into it. So guys, I've actually had a few people on Instagram who requested me to do a video about this. Since this channel covers a large array of things, you guys wanted me to cover certain things, and two of you guys actually told me that you've been ripped off trying to do everything these YouTubers are telling you to do, and you were doing it and it failed. And you're trying to see where the positive is in all of this, and you're waiting, and you invested in the stock. What's going on? What the hell's going on? Well, first off, I'm going to address this, and then I'm going to show you guys exactly what to do to be successful, and we're going to talk about it. But first, as a disclaimer, I should tell you this. The stock market is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Sure, you guys could play the option strategies and all that, but this is very high risk. You end up getting caught, bad purchasing 100 shares where you don't have money. You're going to get stuck with a lot of things you don't want to do. I don't recommend you entering options. And also, this is in no way a get-rich-quick. I know there's so many scam artists who start off like that, but I'm not selling anything, so I'm telling you the truth. This is not going to happen overnight. You need a job. And when you work in this job, no matter how crappy your job is, always tell yourself, I'm doing it for my long-range planning. Any job that you work that's crappy, just tell yourself, I'm going to be investing in certain stock that's going to make me not rich, but live comfortably. And, you could say rich. To me, rich means more than money. It means family. It means a bunch of other things. Money is not rich to me. So I'm just letting you know it's a combination of a lot of things. Living comfortably, quality of life, health, all kinds of stuff like that. This, family. This is the stuff that makes one rich. But I'm going to tell you guys now something, because I want you guys to know this as what's going on right here. So it's going to take 20 to 30 years to actually build anything. If you want to have dividends paying you every month, there's monthly dividends out there that, companies out there that pays dividends every month. There's ones that pay every quarter. If you arrange the quarterly in the right order, you'll still have it sort of every month. Some even you could sort of do it every week. It depends how much money you want to put in the market, how much you want to do in that. But again, you're going to be giving, let's say $100. You're probably going to be getting like $1 or $2 every month from that. It depends how many shares you buy, obviously, because every share, basically what a dividend is the company gives you money from their, a percentage from their profits. Okay. It's kind of like when you go for a loan, except you're not making nearly as much, but you're going to get a loan. They make money off the interest. The companies give you a dividend. I don't invest personally myself in any stock unless they have dividend. Now, the stocks that I do invest is to make quick money because I'm a bull. So what I like to do is invest in certain stocks that will make me a quick buck. But again, this is not really for long range planning, even though it sort of is, because it makes you money that you invest in other stocks that will give you dividends every month. Now, making $2 or $1 every month when you gave 100 feels kind of crummy, but in the end of the day, you're making a good amount of money because you're adding and you're going to buy more and more and more stocks. And before you know it, you're making about $8,000 a month, $4,000 a month, again, within a period of about 20 to 30 years. This is going to be you investing, probably every week $100 from your paycheck into the stock market, or you could do $25 every paycheck, which isn't bad, every week. Depends also how early you start. The earlier, the better. I wish I would have started in my 20s. That would have been great. That's a perfect time to start. And you start building on that. I would have been very financially secure by now, even though I sort of am. But I mean, I would be totally financially secure at this point where I wouldn't have to fear anything. Now, the thing that you need to understand is there is a lot of pitfalls in that. So what happens is many of you guys are listening to these YouTubers are like, you're going to make millions. You're going to do this if you go to, do these dividends and blah, blah, blah. And the first thing you guys do is go on Google and you type companies that pay the highest dividend and you invest in that. And you put so much of your money behind it, not realizing anything what's going on here. So I'm going to give you an example. Verizon. Verizon has a name. Oh, it's Verizon. It's a great name. You're starting out in the stock market. You're probably going to be fooled by Verizon because they have one of the highest yield, dividend pay from all of them. So you're going to be like, wow, but I'm going to be making the most with this company. What you don't get is you need to investigate that because there's a lot of companies like Verizon that owe tons of money and they actually don't really make a profit and they're actually going down. So if they go down, your dividends eventually are going to go down as well. But again, when it does go down, you're going to be like, oh my God, I want to sell this thing. I want to sell this stock and invest in something else. But guess what? You put in $100,000, let's say, into the Verizon, and now Verizon is not even worth $20,000. I'm just giving you an example here. And you're going to be taking an $80,000 loss. Any dividend you got paid within that 20, 30 years ain't going to make none of a difference. Okay. So that is one of the pitfalls that affects young, I'm not going to say just young, young investors. Young investors could mean an 80-year-old who's starting is still considered young investor, of the investors. You're new to this thing. You're a newborn to these things. You don't look really at graphs. So what you want to do is you want to not really focus too much on the dividends. Although you want dividends, you want to also see how the company is doing when they opened and their graph. Okay. If you have stock that goes, so for bullish market, what I do is if I see something like this, I buy on the low, sell on the high. Very simple. Happens on a lot. I could give you some pointers on that, but you guys, I'm sure, could do your own research. Now, the thing is, research is very important. I want you guys to read books about it. I want you guys to be involved on it. I will make another episode eventually giving, if you guys want certain things that I would recommend, but I don't like really name dropping or anything like that. But what I want you guys to do is to be well educated in what the company is. So before you buy a car, you don't just go and you buy a car. You don't just say, hey, give me that car. You want to know how many miles it has, right? How long, what year, all of, these things are very important. You want to see what it is before you buy it. Same thing with the stock market. You can't just say, I want to see which one looks the nicest. You understand? Like in a car, you can't say, I want to see which one gives me the highest yielding dividends because you're putting in more than you're getting out of that. So you want to be able to see the capital because in case something goes wrong, even if you take it at a loss, it won't be a significant loss. Or even if you could break even, and then take all that money. You'll have a ton of money left to invest in a high yield, dividend stock. So things also you need to look into is how the economy is doing. The stock market is, certain stocks are affected by the economy. So, for example, if there's inflation, if there's, what happened with the, I don't want to talk about it, all of this that happened in the lockdowns and all of that stuff. Things like airlines always gets affected when the economy is at a downfall. So, again, you got to tell yourself, how safe is that? There you go. Now, when you look at a stock, you have to make sure that it is widespread everywhere. Okay, so like I like investing in stocks that are in the United States, Canada, all around the world. It affects everyone. So if, let's say, it doesn't do well in one country, in another country it's there, it just has a higher probability of holding that capital and increasing. And the more it goes up, the more the dividends go up. You also don't want a company that's really, really good to pay you a very, very high dividend. Now, there's a reason behind that too, because you want to give it some kind of wiggle room to stay alive. Because again, the stuff you bought, even though it's making you peanuts compared to what you're putting in, eventually that peanuts adds up. You're still put in a hell of a lot more. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that this company lasts, because the more it lasts, the less headache it is. Now, also at the same time, I like to call it a safety blanket. So I like to keep it between 5 to 7 stocks for dividends. Okay, that's just me. Now, if you do it too much your entire life while you're working, you're going to be looking at your stocks every time. Now, what you do is the best thing to do is to kind of help you, get in the swing of things, especially if you're starting out, is to invest about $20 a week, $50 a week, something like that. But every week you put away money. Now, you buy it on the low and high. Some people will tell you, I'm going to tell you, you could put it in certain, savings account that gives you a little bit of interest, and then buy it when it's on a low. And then, as it increases, everything goes up and down in the stock market. Nothing ever just keeps going up and up and up and up and not coming down somehow. Every time there's going to be drops and rises, and that's what you got to catch it when it's on the low. Now, you could put yourself on a thing by just, buying it on the low, buying it on the high, and eventually it will even out. But if you have that luxury where you can just wait a little bit, you can, continuously purchase things on the low, and you'll be at less of a loss, and it will just feel like you'll kind of get in the swing of things. Also, like I said, if you want to get into the swing of things and be like a bull, this is a little bit high risk, but you're going to make quick money. Again, not a rich scheme. You're not going to have enough money to make a lot of money. What you could do is invest in a company that makes money. You research it, you look at the graphs, you look at just like you do with a dividends thing, and you see how it goes up and down. So let's say in the summer, let's take airlines, which are affected by the economy the most. But let's take an airline. Airlines are profitable. You buy it on a low when, let's say, holidays and stuff, they don't make that much money, and then you sell it at a high when the holidays, you'll see a very big bump. Like American Airline goes from I bought stock at $10 a share, and then it increased to 15 and then 25 at some point, and I sold it at 25. So I'm just giving you guys, not for dividends. Do not invest in airlines. I'm telling you, that's not safe. With Verizon, phone companies, there's too much competition. It will always get crushed. And even if it doesn't and they live off debt, eventually the dividends are going to be out and the capital is going to be crap. You're going to you will sell it at an incredible loss just to be able to take it and put it somewhere else. And you don't want to be caught in that wind trap. Believe me, a lot of people are. Another big trap is what you guys are seeing on YouTube. People telling you to invest in certain stocks. Now, usually that happens when they have millions of viewers and subscribers. They'll tell you to invest, and this is where those two were complaining to me. They'll tell you to invest because they know you don't have the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they do. So if they invested in a crappy stock, they're going to wait for you and millions of others who listen to them like zombies and do no research. And you guys are going to all invest in this little stock, and the stock is going to be having a little rise, and they're going to sell it, even if it's a little bit. They're going to feel great just to sell it. So they tell you all this fake information. Because let me tell you, nobody could tell you what to invest in, because today they might be good, the next day they might be crappy. Now, they could do it based on predictions, and they could tell you, again, I can't emphasize this enough. Study the graphs, look at the history of the company. You will be able to make that logical decision. It's very, very simple to just make a logical decision based on what you're reading, but you need to read. You can't just blindly invest in something and just be like, it's kind of like when you're pulling in a slot machine, and one time, you lose like 5 times, and then you win a few pennies, and you're like, wow, I'm a winner, and you continue this cycle and become in debt and paralyzing debt, and just completely, it ends up, you give up on the stock market. You don't want to do that. You want to do your own research. You could take their considerations, anybody that tells you considerations, which I will give you at one point if you guys want me to, of things. But again, consideration. Do not just give it consideration. Study it on your own and see if this is the right stock for you. What might be a right stock for me might not be one for you. You might be like, you know what? I want to invest in something in Canada. I don't want to invest in anything in the US right now. US looks like it's a dying market. You could come up with anything in your head and just make up something and, not go according to me. And that's fine. I am not the know-all. None of them are. Believe me, none of them are. They don't know. They know how to rip people off, those that lie to you and tell you what to invest in. What you need to do is to study this. Very, very important to study these graphs, to study what the company is. It's just like buying a car, y'all. Okay, you need to know the date. You need to know how they're doing. And we have a very beautiful thing right now that happened. Even though it's not beautiful, it's horrible. But I'm saying we have a bar. That bar is COVID. When COVID came out, was out and about, it locked down places, it did stuff. So you could see how the economy would, how a stock did during the times of lockdown. If they did great, then they're kind of recession proof and they'll last through anything. Really? I mean, that's really what it is, right? So you'll see that they lasted past that. So you have something that you can say, wow, during this crushing time, this is what they did and they still pulled through. A company, I'm going to give you an example. This is a very common stock, doesn't pay off much dividend, is fairly expensive, and I don't like people that are starting off in the stock market to invest in this too much because they don't have money to invest in this, is O. If you look up O, they're a company that's been around for a long time, and they've been going up and down, but they've managed to consistently stay up and increase their dividends slowly. That's a great company to invest in, but, not everybody has $50 a share. I did not want to invest in $50 a share. I wanted to do minimal things, and there's tons of them that you could find with the same kind of track record, and they'll do just great for you. But I'm just giving you guys examples here. So don't fall for what people are telling you to invest in, because they're doing it for their own financial gain. They're also making a crap ton of money off of advertisers and people that are paying them to say certain things. You don't know what's going on there. There's a lot of darkness in there. And I always love it when they go, hey guys, I'm teaching you guys how to become a millionaire, and you could just, drip. Yeah, you can make money. And then suddenly they show you all their side hustles. Oh, I own a house, and that house, my brother and I, which by the way, they made off of a career YouTubing. I got some money from there, and I built this house, and we're renting it out to somebody else. I'm doing side hustles. I'm taking pictures. If you notice something here, there's a trend. These people are not millionaires like they're telling you, having blocks of money and shoving it in on the camera. This is all lies. Okay, there was even this guy I remember with, this is my Lambo. It was all fake. Everybody found out that the guy was a fake. But again, if you make them think you're rich, then you're rich, right? People listen to you and fall for your garbage. And that's exactly what's going on over there. So they actually build a lot upon the naive and the ignorant. And I don't like that, because I think of you guys as all as my brothers and sisters. And when you're hurt, I'm hurt. I'm not even kidding. This, you could see my passion. I'm really ticked off about this. So I figured, why not? Let me do this video, show you guys, educate you properly on this. But I'm not telling you how to get rich here. I'm not telling you what to, invest in. If you want me, I'll give you picks that I would want you to consider, but I would still want you to look it up, because again, might not be it. Okay, so I want you to get into the role of investing $20 every week. But also, before you put that money in anywhere, I want you to investigate every company that you put your money in. Whether you're doing it as a bullish market like I do in some of the stocks to make quick bucks, or whether it be to do it for dividends, which is a long time hold. You're going to hold it forever and just go on till 20, 30 years. And you'll make about $4,000 to $8,000 a month, supplemental income, and eventually be able to be financially stable and independent when you're making $8,000 a month. Again, the more you put in, the more you get out of it. But, that's not true either, because you could put in more money and do it in the wrong one. So again, put more in terms of education. Educate yourself. Take classes if you want. Look it up. Don't invest in what they are telling you to. Instead, take their consider it. Look up every company. Don't take their word for it. And look up every company. Look yourself. I do the research myself. Look at every company. Look at everything. Look at everything from beginning to end. Look at the graphs. See how they're doing, and always compare them to the COVID era. See what the heck is going on and how the heck they're doing, and even after inflation and what's going on, and see how well they do, even when the economy is at a low. Okay. And then that's the company you want to invest in. You make sure the dividends are good, not, usually the high dividends, where you see the highest dividends like Verizon is doing, they try to trap people. So they give a high dividend to sucker you into investing into their company. They're not the only ones. I hate to add just Verizon. There's a lot. AT&T is the same thing. They're also living off of debt, barely making any profit, and doing the same exact thing. There's so many other companies, not just phone companies. There's tons of other companies, which I leave it to you. I want you guys to do some research and look it up and see for yourself what's going on. Do not listen to anybody. I don't even want, don't even listen to me. I'm just telling you, get educated in it. Educate yourself, but most important, investigate every company and see. I like to invest in companies that were from 2008, 2007. I could compare because that was during inflation times, hard times, and then COVID later on, and so on and so forth. I like to invest in companies from 1960. Again, track record is very important. You got to see it. Like when you're going to get a car, the first thing I tell myself is Toyotas could last past 200,000 miles. Everybody knows Toyotas are beasts. They're the immortal car. So if you're looking for a car that doesn't, that doesn't have to look the most fancy whatever car, but you want it for a long time, best investment is in the Toyota vehicle, right? Again, looking at the track record, looking at everything it does, looking to see what everything is. Then I would look up the model, see how it is. How does it operate? What's the track record? This is exactly the same way when you're doing stocks. Don't look at anybody, at those snake oil salesmen or used car salesmen telling you, yeah, I have a car just like that at home. Look it up yourself. Try to do the investigate it yourself. And you know what? I would love it if you could just call out these idiots. They always block me, and when I call them out on their nonsense. But that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Be educated in it. Very important. Look at, and find a job. You need a job. You're not going to replace your job instantly. Every time when my job sucks, and any job that I work, because I work at 3 jobs, I do a lot of jobs. If I get a day that I'm really, ticked off with it or whatever, I just think about it and I'm like, I could look for another job. Yeah. But I like having security. So if I have a job that I'm doing and I have some sort of security, but I'm not enjoying it anymore, it kind of makes me feel good knowing Leor, calm down, dude. All right? Calm down, because you could take that money that you're making right now and invest it. So they're helping you invest in your long-range planning. Long-term planning, right? So you feel better about yourself. You look at the stock market and you're like, I'm doing good today, and you feel great, and you're just like, okay, well, I made $2 a month today. I know, you tell yourself, I know by next month I'm gonna probably make $3 a month, $4 as I add next year, probably 20. Who knows? Always good to spread out at least 5 to 7 of dividend payments, and then you're going to make it. I like going for the monthly dividend ones. Some I do that are quarterly, but they all come, and it's just good to have money coming to you every time. Even though you're putting in a crap ton more, it's just nice to have it coming back to you in little forms, especially like when you need it, when you end up getting it to some sizable pays. But even when I had it at $2, I used to work, in horrible jobs, like in warehouses and stuff like that, where I was lifting all day. I broke my back. It felt like I broke my back. I didn't break my back, but it felt like it. And I remember I would just look at it and just say, well, you know what, Leor, you're doing it for this. You're doing it for this. It was like when I was a kid, I worked in a pizzeria. Every time the boss was great, but the customers were horrible. They were the worst. And I used to go to the bathroom and go, Leor, calm down. Be zen. You're doing it for this video game, and you'd look at it. It's the same exact thing, guys. So it's kind of a nice way to cope with a crappy job, and kind of a nice way to cope when when you're feeling down, and you're just it helps you look into the future, and you feel better about yourself. Now, a lot of people that I coached, past depression, PTSD, other things as well, a lot of them actually went into this, and I I told them it's very, I don't recommend it when people, when they're dealing with depression, but it is nice to look ahead into the future. So I would always recommend that only when I would see that they're looking at the future in a very, a very sad way. So I would just be like, do these little investments, just see what happens. Just add little pennies and peanuts. And I actually have a guy, I kid you not, who way better than me, completely blew me out of the water, but he literally did what I recommended. Study, did all of his things and everything, started going into options, started going into dividends, into bullish markets, into everything. The guy was like an all-around champ, and now is making a crap ton of money. Like in a matter of 20 years. I'm not even kidding you. 20 years is all it took him, and he made a boatload of money. Now, I'm telling you, if you're 20 years old, 20 years, you're like, oh, that's a long time. Believe me, it goes by really fast. I mean, I could tell you personally how that goes by extremely fast. And when you're in your 40s, you're going to start being like, I'm broke. I have no money. I have no nothing. It's good to have something to fall back on, like something like that. So, that's something that I wish I started when I was younger. Again, when I was younger, I was the same way. I was like, this is going to take forever. I don't want to do it. I wish I could have done that, because that's something definitely that would have made my life a lot happier, because it just helps you invest in your kids, invest in yourself, take them out on vacays more, be early retirement. But that's what I'm talking about, guys. It's always good to save. Now, if you're later on in your life, in your 50s, in your 40s, and your 60s, it's never, late. You can invest it, leave it to your kids, have them add to it. But also, the amount of investing that you're going to get is going to make you money, especially if you're taking out a lump sum, let's say from a retirement, I don't know, that pays you a while. Take a little lump sum, put it into some account, and have a financial advisor, and you'd be surprised how much that would help you in the long run. So it's never too late to invest, but always educate yourself in it. Educate. Education is very, very important, especially when it comes to the stock market, which is like a freaking casino. Okay, so except you have a higher probability of winning if you know what the hell you're picking, what you're doing, and you're researching. Believe me, you're gonna do great. So anyways, as always, if you like what you see, like, subscribe, hit that bell button, share it with everybody you know, make the family grow. Comment down below. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. But I hope you guys now, the ones that got ripped off, don't get ripped off anymore. Study the material. And if you need help, your brother is here for you. I could show you guys. I don't like name dropping, so I'm not telling you what books to read, but it's pretty much simple. Just like you Google anything else, you could Google, don't look up the highest dividends. That's the worst thing you could do. Believe me, I would have probably done the same thing in my youth. Don't do that. Always look for monthly dividends. That's a good way to start. And then look at all those companies they list down, and then start researching them. See when they opened, if they have a track record from like 1960 and on. That's the kind of stuff you want. 2000 even and on. You want these kind of things, those long range that you could plan, and you could see how they did in a track record. And you look at their graph and you see how they're doing, and then you're like, you know what? I want to put money in this company. I want to own a share of this company. And then when you do that, you slowly put money, you start to believe in it. You believe in the company, you believe in that. You're not doing it anymore as just, I want to make quick money. You're doing it for long range planning, but also at the same time you have passion. They invite you to, to give pointers and stuff like that on the email. If you want to tell them something or vote on something, lots of fun to get into that stuff, but know what you're investing in and then start putting money into that. Pick about 5 to 7 stocks. I wouldn't pick more. And just like that, you can kind of track them, see how they're doing. If a company is doing great and paying you more and more dividends, and it's growing and it's doing great, and then you have a company that's paying you dividends, and then you're starting to see the dividends are shrinking, doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. They just need more wiggle room. But if you see the capital is still going up and doing well, give them a little room if they're going down a little bit, so they're decreasing the dividend, but then they go back up, and so on and so forth. Now, if you see them falling too low and you think they're a high risk, you get rid of it. You already do research for other companies. That's what I like to do. So I do the 7, 5, or 7, but I also keep track of other companies that, just in case, I can hop on that really quick and just continue to invest on that, and so on and so forth. That's how you play the market, guys. And I hope that you guys learned something from me. If not, then I do apologize. I know I'm all over the place, but this channel covers everything. So you just ask me whatever you need. Believe me, I don't just work 3 jobs. I'm a jack of all trades. I do everything. And if you need me to answer any kind of questions, I'll do that on this channel 100% and do it. If you want me to come out with more episodes and do an actual series, I can give you a full series rundown of every little thing and be specific and go into detail in every little thing. Even though I think I covered everything here, I could go into detail, much more detail in every little thing that would last probably 45-minute episodes, 20-minute episodes, and so on and so forth. Let me know, guys. Have a good one. As always, love you guys. I want nothing but the best for each and every one of you. Been praying for you guys constantly, for every human being out there that's righteous to actually make it for a change, because these times are so trying. I'm telling you, mentally, spiritually, financially, and I hope you guys find all the positivity in all of this mess and become great successes and have big families. Love you guys. Love you. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Bye.
As always, guys, if you like what you see, self-funded here, be sure to check out all my other stuff, from mini-series to unboxings to technology, and Nintendo reviews and 3D printer reviews and all that good stuff. If you like what you see, the only way you can help the channel is by liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell button. As many more cool videos to come. Definitely want you guys in it, and I want you guys to be vocal. Definitely comment down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Bye.